Mm-hmm. You know what time it is. We back. Another flow with yours truly, Marcus. Thanks for joining me. Today is gonna be like a slow flow. This one's for the hips. It's gonna be all leg and hips and hamstrings oriented. So we're gonna get into these hips today. Let's jump in. You will need 2 blocks and a blanket today for, optimal prop support. And we're gonna start off with a block. If your blocks are cork like mine and they're not very soft, I'm gonna recommend that you start by covering your block with a blanket and then just have it off to the side. We'll use it in a moment. Come to lie down. Bend your knees like so, plant your feet, and then you're gonna find your potentially covered block and slide it on top of your mat under your low back. Now you want the block covered because we're gonna lift our legs up and we'll bring more weight on the block. If the block is soft, it will be much more comfortable, so keep that in mind. Once you lift your legs, start by just letting your legs float. You might adjust yourself to go further down on your block, further forward or back to find a comfortable position where you kind of feel like your legs are just floating in the air. You shouldn't feel like there's much effort. And as we always do with our slow flows, we'll start by slowing down the breath. Always gonna be the first thing to slow down. Lengthen out your inhales and exhales to match the rhythm of one another. Maybe your feet and ankles take a few circles, or you make some gentle movements as you're finding your breath. Okay. Cross your your right knee over your left knee. Once you cross your right knee over your left knee, wrap your right ankle behind your left ankle for eagle legs. Pull your knees into your chest. Maybe use your hands for support if you feel like you need that. The stretch and the sensation will show up on the outer left hip for most of us. Unravel your legs, cross back over, and bring left knee on top of right knee. Once you get your left knee on top of your right knee, wrap your left ankle behind your right ankle. Same deal, just on the other side. Pull your knees into your chest. Maybe use your hands for support. Now this is our first little mini flow. We're gonna do each side a few times and just see if you can start to find the flow of uncrossing. We're going slow, so it doesn't have to be a breath to movement pace, but just letting your breath move slow. As you cross your right knee over your left, wrap your right ankle behind your left. Pull the knees in close, and make sure you take the full range of motion for the movement before you start to move into the other side, unraveling the legs. Left knee crosses over the right, left ankle behind the right ankle. Pull your eagle legs in, knees to your chest. And then again, unravel. Right over left, right ankle behind left. Unravel. Left knee over right, left ankle behind the right. One more time on each side. Coming back to right over left. And a final return to left over right. Unravel your legs, plant your feet. Once you plant your feet, lift your hips up, move your block off to the side, and lower your hips down. Take a long stretch, reach your arms back and your legs forward. As you exhale, hug your knees into your chest. With your knees in your chest, pull your forehead up toward your knees. Round your spine, curl into a tight ball, and now keep your knees where they are. Maybe even squeeze them together. Try to keep them as close in as you can to your chest, but just reach your arms up to the ceiling. So now your core has to do more work. Try to keep your shoulders off the mat and breathe for 3, 2, and 1. On your next inhale, reach your arms back alongside your ears. Maybe you can keep your shoulders off the mat, floating. Exhale, reach your arms back to the ceiling.
2 more. Inhale, reach your arms back. Exhale, reach it forward. Little core warm up. Last one. Inhale, reach back. And exhale, reach to the ceiling. Wrap your arms around your legs. Pull the knees in nice and tight. Beautiful. Relax your head down to the mat. Take your arms out to a T. Palms could face down or up, whichever is more comfortable for stability. Inhale here. Exhale, lower your knees to the right. Try to keep your knees together, squeezing. Inhale, lift your knees up through center. Exhale your knees to the left. Nice and slow and easy. Inhale, lift your knees up. Exhale your knees to the right. Inhale, lift your knees up. Exhale your knees to the left. Keep both shoulders down as you go back to back. One more time. Inhale, lift your knees up. Exhale to the right. Inhale, lift. And exhale to the left. Inhale, lift your knees. Hug them into your chest. And now we are going to rock around on our spine just a little bit. Give yourself some rocking, some rolling. And when you're ready, roll over to one side and make your way up to stand. So, however you like to stand up. We will meet each other right here at the top of the yoga mat. We're gonna bring our 2 blocks with us. Your blanket can be set off to the side for now. Blocks on the high setting to start. And here we are. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, finishing up our little warm up before we get into a flow for our hips specifically. Take your feet wide on the mat, hands on the hips just so you can feel them. And then keep a little core tension and just take your hips around them, around the world. Nice big circle. Notice how you bend your knees and how that changes where your hips can go. Notice how you can press through your feet to maintain balance and maybe even allow the circle of your hips to be a little bit bigger, wider, in all directions. Change directions with that circle you're making with your hips. Notice how this direction maybe feels. Usually we'll go to the more comfortable direction first. This direction maybe feels a little more awkward, a little less familiar. Be okay with it if you can. Keep your core gently tense. Use your feet to help you feel and balance as you take that circle as big and as wide as you can. And make your way back up to stand. Step your feet in to be under your hips. Point your toes forward. Grab one of your blocks. Place it between your thighs. You can squeeze the block between your thighs as a way of keeping your legs engaged towards one another. Push down into your feet and try to push them apart like you were going to tear your yoga mat to keep your legs engaged away from each other. And now the legs are co-contracted, very much stable. Oof, turns on right away for me. When you feel those hips talking to you, hey, we're up, we're awake, we're a part of this. Draw your belly in. Inhale, lift your arms up. As you exhale, twist to your right. Take your right arm back and your left arm forward to a T. Inhale, unwind. Moving with the slow pace of your breath. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, unwind. Come back through center. Grab opposite elbows and exhale, lean to your right. Side bend, but look up. Turn your chest up. Keep squeezing your block. Inhale, come up. Exhale to the left. Inhale to lift up through center. Exhale, fold forward over your legs. Your hands could come to the ground with a little knee bend or to your block, your other block. Inhale, halfway lift. Let your fingertips come up onto your block as you reach your chest forward. Press the block between your thighs back. Exhale, fold over your legs. Activate your feet, squeeze your block. Inhale, stand up. As you get to the top, take a little back bend. And as you exhale, squeeze your elbows together behind you. Let your shoulder blades slide down your back. Just getting a little shoulder warmth since they won't get
all of our attention today. One more time, just like that. Inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, twist to the right. Right arm back, left arm forward. Inhale, lift your arms. Exhale, twist to the left, arms to a T. Inhale, unwind. Grab opposite elbows. Exhale, side bend to the right. Maybe let your right arm go down your right side this time. Inhale, lift both arms back up overhead. Exhale, side bend to the left. Keep turning your chest up as you maybe release your left arm. Inhale with the arms lift. Exhale, fold over your legs. Squeeze your block, push your feet apart. Inhale, halfway lift. No rush, move with your breath. And exhale, fold over your legs. Press down through the feet as you inhale and stand up. Take your back bend at the top. Exhale, squeeze your elbows together behind you. Let the shoulder blades slide down your back. And as your arms reach the bottom, relax. Take the block from between your thighs. Bring it back to the floor in front of you. Ooh, yes. Now shake that out. That was our warm up. Now it's time to get into this flow. I think we'll probably try this about 3 times and then we'll settle in. First time will be very, very slow as I'm giving the cues. Second time will be a little bit more intuitively slow, like not breath to movement, but definitely a little bit more of a linger, but not for long. Round 3, we might get almost at breath to movement, but a very slow breath, so it still shouldn't feel rushed. All right. Starting off, we're gonna just fold, plant our hands on our blocks. Take a big step back with your right foot, finding a low lunge. Keep your back knee lifted and let your blocks frame your left foot. Push through your back heel so your back leg is straight and firm, and maybe push so much that your right knee lands right on top of your left ankle. So look, or left knee on left ankle. Look at your front knee. It's right on top of your ankle, and your back leg is pressed straight and strong, so not bent, hanging like this, but pressing, active like this, lifting away from the floor. Draw your belly in, reach your chest forward, and gaze just out in front of your mat at the floor. Just feel some strength here. Feel some warmth. Let some heat build. Let the weight in your legs be the dominant force pressing you away from the ground and holding you up, rather than the hands. So let the hands get lighter and lighter, and then let the left hand get so light that you can inhale, and exhale, lift your left arm, twist. Maybe look up at your left hand. Inhale here. As you exhale, plant your left hand and lower your right knee behind you. As the right knee lowers, we want a short lunge stance at first. So maybe scoot your right knee slightly forward and then flatten your shin. Press down through the right shin, push down through the left foot. As you rise up, bring your hands to your front thigh and squeeze your foot and your back shin towards one another. So they're not just on the ground balancing, they're squeezing towards one another. And from that, I feel it in my right hip flexor, front of my right hip. If you draw your belly in, you might feel it more. You might even feel some stretch. And if you want more stretch, lift your arms up. And this is our Anjaneyasana for today, our low lunge, or a variation of it. Now, as your hip starts to wake up, you can start drawing your front hip, the left one, back, drawing the right hip forward more as you squeeze the back knee forward. And we'll be in a similar motion. Inhale, reach up. On the exhale, just plant your hands on your blocks again. And we're gonna take this same lunge and just open it up by wiggling the back foot back even more. Maybe go not to your limit, but where you feel comfortable exploring right now in a wide stance. Flatten your back shin, press down, and this time draw your belly in and just pull your chest forward with your blocks. So let the blocks be support to just pull your chest forward, draw your belly in, let your hips sink to the ground. Your left hip is moving back,
while your right hip is moving forward. So there could still be that sensation of the back shin pulling forward, maybe just not as aggressively, not as firmly. Beautiful. Take a deep breath in. On your exhale, press your hips back. Lift your left toes up off the mat. Coming into a half split. As you fold over your left leg, try to guide with your chest, taking you forward more so than your head taking you down. So bring your left thumb into your left hip crease. Press the hip back, reach your chest forward, and that will get you sensation in the left hamstring that you could maybe fold gently into, but trying to keep the back straight. Beautiful. Now, we're gonna rock the weight back forward. Free bend your left knee. You can move one of your blocks off to the side, won't need it. The other block is gonna come inside your left foot. Now with that block coming inside the foot, whoosh, we can place the hands on our block and pull our chest forward. Or some of us may be able to place forearms on the block to pull our chest forward. Either way, try to keep your left knee close in to your shoulder, more or less. Focusing on getting into the hips here. If the hips feel it more with the chest higher, take this variation. If you start to feel it more in the spine or somewhere else when you come lower, let's focus on the hips today. Inhale, reach your chest forward. And as you tuck your back toes, lift your back knee up. Take a little rock back and forth to get some momentum. And then maybe in 3 steps, so pat, 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 you step forward. Maybe in 2, pat, pat, maybe 1 big step forward. And from here, forward fold. In your forward fold, you can shift left to right. You can sway left to right, whatever you need. Find your other block. Feet back under the hips. And then step your left foot back. Frame your right foot with your blocks. Push back through your left heel. Let the leg be straight, strong, and firm. Inhale, reach your chest forward, pressing through your back heel. Just finding a little heat here, just like we did on the first side. Gaze is at the floor, out in front of you. And the legs take the weight, so let your right foot be pressing down, firmly pressing into the ground. Getting lighter and lighter on the hands. Eventually, inhale, lift your right arm, and exhale, twist, looking up at the ceiling. Inhale, and as you exhale, plant your right hand, lower your left knee down. Again, knee slides forward a little bit, press down through the shin, come up, hands come to your front knee, back shin presses down, squeezes forward. Front foot presses down, squeezes back. There's tension between the two that helps you find balance and also be able to sit and stand. Sit up tall, I guess. Kneel up tall, if that makes sense. Draw your core in. If you want a little more length on the left hip, reach your arms up. You also want your hip right over your knee for this, so that's kind of the general cueing that I'm looking for my hip position. And then my front knee is like pretty much still right over my ankle, more or less. On your next exhale, plant your hands. Slide your left knee back again. And then you just go to where it's accessible to you. When we make that transition, we want to kind of know where you're going, because then it'll be ballpark. You don't have to get to the same spot every single time, but you just want to be somewhere that's reasonable, comfortable, and where you can feel what maybe feels reasonable to you, but in the same areas that I'm letting you know that you should likely feel it. Press down through your back shin. Draw your low belly in until you feel your left hip flexor start to stretch, front of the left hip. And then you can lift your chest, walk your blocks back. However high you want to lift is up to you. Keep drawing your right hip back and your left hip forward. And now with your next exhale, press your hips back. lift your right toes off the mat as you flex your foot, and then reach your chest out like you wanted to put it right on your big toe. Right thumb can come to your right hip, pull it back as your chest reaches forward. Slowly rock your hips forward. Move one block off to the side while you wiggle your right foot off to the right. One block comes inside the right foot, coming into lizard lunge. Inhale, reach your chest forward. Pull yourself gently using your block. Right knee stays pretty close to the right shoulder, even if you make your way down to the forearms. I'd say maybe even especially if you make your way down. Making sure that the sensation stays mostly in the hips. This is what we're here for today. Loving it. Make your way up to your hands. Inhale, reach your chest forward. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee, and then however you gotta get there with as many steps as you need, step your left foot forward to meet your right and fold. Now from this fold, grab your two blocks. Place them on the outsides of your feet and maybe even slightly behind you. You're going to bend the knees, press the knees out as much as you can. Sit your hips down in between your heels. Ooh, yes. Now as you sit your hips down, try to lift your chest up. Maybe a little more hand support. Heels will stay down. Maybe make a little bench with your blocks. Take a moment here. We'll all try the bench in a moment. So if you like the bench, get comfy. We'll come back to it. Or don't get comfy just yet, actually. That makes more sense. And then lift yourself back up. Forward fold over your legs. Sway left to right. Okay. We'll get us a little slow flow going this second time. And the third time, slow breath to slow movement. So from here, wiggle the feet back under the hips. Take a step back with your right foot. You can take your blocks with you. I'll cue you through how. Inhale, reach your chest forward. Find that press through your back heel. And with your next exhale, once your core is on, lift your left arm, look up. Inhale. As you exhale, plant your left hand, lower your right knee. Untuck your back toes. You can slide the knee forward, or you could just stay here and inhale to lift your arms. Squeeze your back knee towards your front foot. Remember that squeeze, engage your core, find balance. As you exhale, plant your hands back on the mat. Take your stance a little wider. This is where if you had a split in your practice, you could probably be welcome to go there pretty safely. If not, inhale, take a deeper lunge. Hips are sinking down while the chest lifts up. So our variation of working towards our split. Exhale, press your hips back and reach your chest forward as your next exhale comes. So no rush. So if you're still taking a breath in that lunge, take your time. This transition is key to keep the back straight. So you'll go from this back bend where you're kind of having a gentle back bend back. As you get to neutral and the hips move back, try to keep your spine at neutral and just let the hips move from there. Then from the hips, can you fold? Ooh, yes. It's just like that thumb was in your hip crease. Inhale, rock it forward. Hands walk inside of your left foot. This is where you could keep both blocks. Option to keep the back toes untucked and the shin flat, or you could go for a more active lizard, tuck your toes. Inhale, reach it forward here. And then from here, we exhale, come up onto the back toes if you're not already, and step forward. Yogi squat for just a moment. Stand up, forward fold. Wiggle your feet back into the center. One more time slow before we try it, breath to movement. Step your left foot back. Find your little lunge. Press firmly through your back heel and inhale to reach your chest forward. Exhale, twist to the right. Right arm lifts as you twist. Inhale, look up at the right hand. Exhale to lower your right hand and your left knee. Remember, legs can be closed for this first part. Inhale, walking hands up to the knee or lifting the arms up. Pull the left knee forward, drag the right foot back. As your next exhale comes, plant your hands, widen your stance. Take your front foot forward and your back foot back, whichever makes most sense. Inhale to press down through the back shin and lift your chest like you're pulling your back hip with you. As you exhale, press your hips back, straighten your front leg, pull the toes back towards your face. Let the spine stay straight. So you see what I did? I rounded that time. I'll do it one more time just so you can see. You want to keep it straight. Maybe you aren't as low to the ground, but you'll definitely feel the sensation. Inhale, rock it forward. Walk your right foot out to the right. Walk your hands inside your foot. Tuck the back toes if you like. Inhale, reach your chest forward for an active lizard. And as you exhale, step forward, yogi squat. Maybe you hang out here for a minute. Maybe you lift the hips right away into forward fold. All right, let's try breath to movement one time. Winding it down. Final go. You know where you're going. Trust yourself. Just let it happen. Step your left foot back. Inhale, reach your chest forward. Exhale, twist, lift your left arm. Inhale, look up at your left hand. Exhale, lower your left hand and your right knee. Untuck your back toes and inhale, lift your arms. Exhale, plant your hands, widen your stance. Take your foot forward and your back leg back. As the inhale comes again, press your hips down as you lift your chest up. Exhale, press the hips back. Reach your chest forward. Take the spine long. Yes, you got it. Inhale, rock forward. Hands come inside the left foot. Exhale, press through the back heel. Straight and strong. Strong lunge. Inhale. And exhale, step forward with your right foot. Option for yogi squat or forward fold. As you take your next exhale, we'll all fold. Walk your feet under your hips for the final round. Inhale, step your left foot back. Exhale, push through your back heel. Inhale, reach your chest forward. Exhale, twist to your right. Lift your right arm. Inhale, look at your right hand. Exhale to plant your right hand and your left knee. Untuck your back toes. Inhale, lift your arms. Exhale, plant your hands, widen your stance. Inhale to pull the hips down as you lift your chest up. Exhale, press the hips back, straighten your front leg, take your chest forward. Inhale to walk your hands inside the front foot as you rock your hips forward. Exhale, tuck the back toes, press through the back heel. Inhale, chest forward, lizard lunge. Exhale, step forward, yogi squat. And find a little seat in your squat. So sit on a block or a stack of blocks. Find something that fits your body to sit on. And I'm gonna turn so you can see my spine just from a side view angle. I'm really focusing on keeping my heels from being up off the ground. So I'm pressing my heels down. And then I'm pushing my knees out so that I have space to bring my elbows inside my legs, and pull my chest forward. Maybe my arms just rest here, but I'm still pulling my chest forward so my back is nice and straight. So see if you can find that straight back sensation, hips low, chest high. We're just gonna hang out. Push down into the heels, press your knees away from each other, so weight in the outer edges of your feet as well. Feel like you could feel weight enough on the feet where maybe you could, we'll try this together one time. Lean it forward, and if you lean forward enough, maybe you even feel like you could just push into your feet and lift yourself up to stand. Love to see it. If you really want to challenge, you can squat it back down. For those of us who feel like that was enough, we're just gonna have a seat on a blanket. I'll let everyone have time in case you're trying that squat situation. And as you come down to your blanket, you're gonna turn to face your mat long ways. So turn your to the long edge of your mat. Wide-legged seat. Have your 2 blocks handy. And we'll have them right in between the legs for now. Wham, bam. Thank you, ma'am. All right. Nice little gentle cool down here. Lift your chest up. Inhale deeply. And use your exhale to fold over your blocks. You can push down in the blocks and drag your heart forward for a little more traction. Keep your spine straight. Walk your hands over to the left. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, fold over your left leg. From here, transitioning into a side bend variation, you're gonna take a block on the inside of your left thigh. Whatever setting makes sense, where you can get your left elbow on it and rest your head in your left hand. Once you've done that, take your right hand to your chest. Inhale, turn your chest up, and then you can extend your right arm alongside your right ear, reaching maybe towards your left foot, but just in the direction, no force. If you feel like you want more, you can always remove the block. Even do it on your thigh. Seen a lot of variations for this. Find something where your chest can still turn up, but you're relatively comfortable. Slowly make your way up through center. Blocks come back in front of you. Inhale. And exhale, fold out over your blocks again. Walk your hands over to the right this time. Inhale towards your right toes. And exhale to fold. Block comes inside the thigh. If you're using it, elbow on the block, hand in the right, head in the hand, left hand on the chest. Inhale, turn it up. And as you exhale, sneak your left arm alongside your left ear. Make sure both sit bones are still heavy on your blanket. It's the reason we're sitting on it. Little support, elevation for the hips. Make sure you're breathing deeply. Don't hold your breath, especially if you get into a spot that feels tight or tense. Try to breathe actively on purpose. Slowly work your way back up through center. Bring the soles of the feet together, knees out wide. Sit up nice and tall. And you can even offer yourself support with your blocks if you'd like to. Bring your blocks under your knees and just give yourself a nice pull of the chest forward as you press the knees apart. We are going to plant the feet in front of us, place the hands behind us, and gently windshield wiper the knees left to right a few times. Swing ourselves around onto our mat. And we're gonna lie it down and set up for a figure 4 variation. So for this figure 4 variation, cross your right ankle over your left knee. Hug your left knee into your chest. Once you're here, this variation, some people find it uncomfortable. So if it's uncomfortable for you, you can just come right back here. But if you like this, it's a nice passive way to do it. Release your hands. Let your legs fall to the left until your right foot finds the floor. Grab your ankle with your left hand. And then your right hand has options. Arm can go out to a T,
can lift up alongside your ear, or even reach behind you, grab your other foot. I'll stay out of right and left because I feel like that's confusing enough, especially in this position. So just, take an option that makes sense in your body. If you're like, ooh, I've always wanted to try that, and your hips are saying, yes, give it a go, try it. If your hips are like, hey, we've had enough, listen to them. They're going to be your biggest fan and supporter, trust me. Somewhat literally. Now, whatever position you made your way into in this last few breaths, gently release yourself from it. Just as easily as you got yourself in, like you were exploring, not really sure where you'd end, come out with that same explorative pace, not needing to rush anywhere, seeing what it is. And then switch sides. Left ankle over the right knee. Right knee gets hugged into the chest. Once you pull it in nice and tight, whoosh. Go ahead and find the release of your hands, and your legs float over to the right. Left foot meets the ground. Right hand can grab the ankle. Left arm gets to decide, where does it want to live? Maybe it lives in the same area as it did on the front side, on the first side. Maybe you got something completely different going on. Accept where you are. Wherever you've made it to, gently release, roll onto your back, uncross the legs, and find a happy baby pose. Pulling on the outer edges of your feet or your outer ankles, drawing your knees down in towards your armpits. And maybe today, if this is a lot on your hips, maybe you're just holding behind the knees and pulling them in here. Maybe you're just holding the calves and pulling them in here. Maybe it's the ankles and the elbows slide inside the knees. Or maybe it's a version of happy baby where you're holding your feet. Whatever it is for you, let yourself be where you're at today. If you need to rock and roll to soothe your low back, allow yourself to take time to do that. And in the next few breaths, let those rocks and rolls gently find their way into a Shavasana. Stretching your legs out in front of you, releasing your arms to your sides. Let your palms face up, and let your arms have space away from the sides of your body, while your toes sway out, giving your feet and legs space away from each other. And after what we did today, that flow, allow yourself to release the slow pace of your breath to be natural. Allow yourself to allow your body to rest and receive the benefits of your flow. You're welcome to stay here for as long as you need to be. And you're always welcome to extend this part of your practice until you feel ready to return to the rest of your day. At whatever point that is, I hope that you take the ability to slow down in your practice, the ability to move at your own pace with you, and know that that ability comes with you off your mat. Thank you for sharing your time, your energy, and your practice today.